Good evening everybody and welcome to our Monday night natter. Today's Monday night is a Stockist launch celebration as we get ready for tomorrow's Stockist launch at 10 AM. Now tonight we have got an awful lot to chat about and an awful lot to go through. I don't even know where we're going to begin, to be honest with you. But shall we start off actually, before we get too cocky, shall we check and make sure that you are with us, you can hear us and you can see us, and make sure that there's somebody there with us. Because I have got a little bit of a cheeky special guest for you tonight. I know, it's kind of exciting, but we'll come back to the guest in a moment. Let's just check that there's somebody here and verifying that I'm not talking to myself. Oh, our lovely Kim Deer is here. Kim Deer is possibly very excited to see our special guest this evening, as Kim Deer is actually completely responsible for our guest in question. So with no further ado, shall we go and say good evening before we get too carried away and into our Stockist launch bit? And if you're still with us afterwards, I'm impressed, because honestly, each week you tune in and I feel we get slightly more and more bonkers. And this week, I think we've tipped the edge even further than normal. So shall we jump over and welcome our special guest on Hostage Cam? This week, we have the one, the only, Debbie McGee.
Good evening. Hello everybody. Welcome to the professional edit of Creative Expressions with Jamie Rogers.
Now, before we move off of you, Peter.
Here we go.
What was that?
I don't know. Someone who wanted me in a frock. Emma wanted me in a frock, didn't she?
That was like Debbie McGee meets the Queen, I feel.
She is royalty.
She is royalty. She is magicianal royalty. But yes, as you can see, this is the budget version of Debbie McGee.
We need about £5,000 to get the real one, I think, don't we?
But we are very, 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 very grateful to Kim Deer for sending us our Debbie McGee mask, so that we can at least pretend. What do they say? Fake it till you make it. So in our world, we're going to fake it till we make it with the Debbie McGee mask. So I'm sure that will appear every now and again. I apologise in advance, but it is lovely to have it with us. So thank you, Kim, for sending that in the post to us. And later on, we'll talk about the other little thing that was in the envelope as well, which is going to make one of our viewers, if they're with us this evening, very, very happy indeed. Now let's have a little look.
I think she was.
There is a few laughy faces.
She is.
Thankfully, the world sees how funny you are in your mask. Shall we say hello to a few people before we forget?
We should. Thank you, Kathleen. Poor Peter. Exactly. See what I have to deal with.
I will be honest, I will show you. Does it say it in the card? Was it the card? We'll have a little look later at the card and I'll tell you a little, I'll read you the card shortly. But it was directional. It wasn't for me, it was just for Peter. So, you know, I feel that this is the reason why. Okay, if you are new to us this evening, I do apologise. We are normally a little bit off the rails. We're not normally Debbie McGee off the rails, but it's good fun. There is a running joke to why Debbie McGee, in case you're wondering where Debbie McGee come from. I'll tell you more about that later on, just in case you're new. Good evening, Rose. Good evening, Diane. Good evening, Julian Barrett, Craft Bliss. Good evening, Pauline. Good evening, Joyce, Michelle, Kim, Laura, Wendy, Bethan, Kim, Mary, Pauline. There's loads of you with us this evening and it's an absolute joy to have you with us. Good evening, Angela, Nicola, the list just goes on. It is so lovely to have you all with us this evening. Genuinely, it's a joy. And if we come back to some sort of sense and sensibility, I'll pick up my proper card and we'll start going through what we should be going through this evening, shall we? So as you all know, tonight is our celebration of our Stockist launch, which takes place tomorrow morning at 10 AM. And the Stockists will be launching our brand new Dies to Dot, and it's our very first release from Creative Expressions. Now, I know lots of you will have watched the shows on Hobbymaker yesterday, and if you didn't, you can still catch up with them and you can still order through Hobbymaker. Hobbymaker have the complete bundle that we're going to be talking about this evening on extended dispatch. Now that's going to tell you volumes before I carry on waffling, but in short, it sold out. And it didn't just sell out once, it sold out when we gave them more stock, and it sold out, and it sold out again, and then it went on to extended dispatch. And I think, and I'm going to go to our independent adjudicator here, I'm going to say that about 40 to 50% of our extended dispatch stock, which was a lot of stock.
Yeah, about 70% of that is now gone.
70%. Okay,
Yeah.
so 70% of the extended dispatch stock has already gone as well. So of course you can still go and order on extended dispatch. That's around the 18th of August. If it arrives with us quicker, we will of course send it out in that format. But there is some good news. Our stockists placed their orders last week before any of the shows kicked off and before all of the sellouts started coming through. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m, the little list of stockists I'm going to be giving you in a moment will start launching their stockpile. Now, as I've just told you, we've sold out again, we're on extended. That's as clear as I can be to tell you. In this warehouse, there is no more stock to share around our stockists, the Hobby Maker channel, anywhere else. So if you see a stockist that's got it, nab it quickly if you're in a rush to get hold of it, because when they're sold out, they too are going to have to wait till it comes back in stock later in August. There is no way we can speed that up. We have no more stock for stockists. If our stockists go to order it currently, the website just says sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. So don't dilly-dally if you're in a rush to get hold of it. Now, we've spoke about the stockists. Let's give you a little list of where you're going to be able to find this. We'll run through the list again later on so that you can write your sort of notes down if you need to. And we will, of course, post tomorrow at 10 a.m. when it will be available. We'll post this list as well on the Creative Expressions page so you can refer back to it if you're struggling to find it in stock in different places. But keep an eye on Glitter Bits, Intercraft, Cheshire Crafts, Craft Bliss, Affordable Crafting, The Art of Craft, Dragon's Paper Craft, a brand new stockist to us here at Creative Expressions, Hazel's Crafts, and Craft Mania. And once again, don't forget you can order it on extended dispatch through Hobby Maker. So I think it's about 10 different options of places that you've got to go and track it down. As I say, don't dilly-dally if you're in a hurry to get your mitts on it, because it's gonna sell out of the stockists. We've seen it on the shows, haven't we? Literally, Gwen had sold out of, I don't know, something like 30% of the bundle before we'd even got through showing you 2 or 3 of the items, and then it just rolled from there. Of course, wholeheartedly, from me, Pete, and the whole team, thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it sounds silly, and I know you've bought it because you want it and you like it, and it's a product that you've fallen in love with. But from our side, it's a product that we've created, we've designed, we've seen all the way through the stages, and we've bravely kind of taken it and brought it to you under the Creative Expressions brand, which of course, as you all know, is a new brand to us, a new umbrella brand to us here. And it's exciting to be able to bring you our first release, and to see your response has been epic. It genuinely has meant the world to every single one of us, all the way through from the packaging department to the marketing department to the DT department. Every single person in our team has single-handedly sort of congratulated, celebrated, and had their sort of own party over the results of yesterday's shows and that launch. So it means the world to us to have your support. Now, before I get too Oscar speechy, I do just like you to know that it means a lot to us, because I think sometimes when we buy things or when we support companies, it's not always acknowledged or appreciated verbally or visually. So just like you to know that it really does mean the world to us. Now, these stockists I mentioned earlier, if any of the stockists are with us this evening and you would like to pop a link in the comments telling us where we're going to find this brand new collection tomorrow at launch, please feel free to pop a link in there. Or if you're not a bricks, or if you're not an online store, you're a bricks and mortar store, then tell us, where are you? When can I come and get this? If you've got a lesson planned with it maybe, or a class or a demo day or any of them kind of bits, pop that on that post as well, because absolutely we all want as much inspiration with this collection as we can possibly get our hands on, because it is a collection that goes off in so many tangents. There's so much to tell you about with this one. And tonight, I'm going to show you a few boards. If you've not seen it, if you're like, what is he on about? What is this collection? It's so popular and he ain't even told me what it is yet. We're going to take you through the boards. We're going to take you through the dies. Now, being honest with you, kind of bad planning. All of our cards are with Gwen. And Gwen is, what, 5 hours from where we are?
She is, yeah.
About 5 hours.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a trek. But the good news is, Thursday night, 7 p.m, Gwen is going to be back right here on this page, bringing you more inspiration with that collection, and she will show you more of those cards as well. I've got a few cards, I think it's like a card per die, and we've got 2 or 3 demos to take you through tonight as well that are fresh inspiration. You won't have seen these cards, so I'll hopefully give you some new ideas on that front too. Now, before we do move on and I start taking you through the collection and then we move on to demos, I do just want to announce the winner to our homework challenge this week. If you haven't yet joined in with our homework challenges, we do them every single week over on the group. The group is Creative Expressions Official Group. That's its name if you wish to search for it on Facebook. And then you can become a member. There's about 14,000 members in that group currently. And then every week we set you a brand new challenge. And it's really designed to just push you out of your comfort zone just slightly, not scarily, just slightly, so that we can kind of give you a new field to play in, a new idea, a new colour scheme maybe, a new theme, a new size, whatever that challenge might be this week. You can then post your creations all week long, and it can be 1 creation, it could be 10 creations, it could be 100 creations, however many you wish to make. Just pop them up as individual posts on the group throughout that week. Add on your hashtag. I'll tell you the hashtag for this week later on in the live, and I'll set the new challenge then. But pop on the hashtag for the week and you'll be entered in to win our goodie bag. Now, 1 lucky winner will receive our Creative Expressions goodie bag that's filled full of over £40 worth of goodies. So it's not a bad little bet to come along and play and get creative with us and our challenges. And we genuinely love to see what you're making. So it's a real joy and a lovely community activity that you can take part in on our group. Now, this week, our lucky winner is... We do need a little drum roll button, don't we? We need like a little, you know, like you can get them little buttons where you click them and they say words, like stop and things. We need a little... Anyway, enough drama.
We'll work on it.
Our winner this week is Kaz-Ann. So Kaz, if you're watching, could you please message the page with your address and let us know where to send your goodie bag, and the team will get it popped in the post for you tomorrow. Thank you to all of you who entered this week. It was a joy looking through them. This week was #summer, and there was all nice bright yellow cards, and it was a true joy to see them all and light up our Facebook pages with bright, sunny, happy creations. So next week we'll set you a new challenge a little while later, and we'll see what we can fill our timeline with this week. But please do join in if you haven't joined in before. And it's not a competition where, and this is no comment on who's won or whatever, it's all done by random. So if you're sat at home thinking, I'm not good enough to enter a competition, my cards aren't that great, or I don't make cards, I only do scrapbook pages, and that's not going to win because this is a card making contest. The contest is open to all avenues of craft. Now, each week we might set different challenges down to size and bits, but we try and keep it quite open. And it is genuinely picked by random who's going to win from all of the entries. So it's not a talent competition, not to belittle anyone who's won before, but it's not something you've got to be worried about what level you're at. And that isn't because you're not a brilliant crafter. I'll bet my bottom dollar you are. But I know us crafters, we don't value our work, do we? None of us do. I often say to Pete, oh, I don't think they're going to like this one, I'm going to share this, they're not going to like this. And then you all come on and hit like and comment, and it's lovely. But whoever you are, you're still nervous normally about sharing what you're doing. And do you know what? That's fine. So again, not talent, kind of a luck draw situation. So more times you're in it, more chances you've got to win. Do we have any comments or questions so far this evening, or can we have a little delve into our brand new collection?
No, delve away.
Oh, yeah. Come on then. And don't forget to take us back to Kim Deer's card and other gift in a little while, because I don't want us to miss out on sharing those with you. So, this collection, what's it all about? How does it work? What's he on about? I am on about our dies to dot collection. Now, there's 8 different dies in this collection, and we start off really with one of the most crucial ones in my mind. This is your dot panels. Now, what I wanted with these is I wanted you to be able to have a panel that you could use the panel perfectly, but actually it's not about the panel, it's about what falls out of the middle of them. It's about those little dots. These little dies, this one cuts 3mm dots, this one cuts 6mm dots, and these are going to match up and work in conjunction with all of the dies we're going to be looking at moving forward. So these are the parts that can go on top of them. Now, we can use gems, we can use our liquid dots, we can use glitter glues, we can use a whole host of different pieces, but it is all about having the ability to die cut what you want to. Maybe you want to die cut mirror card, maybe you want to die cut matching colour card, maybe you want to die cut a background that you've made out of enchanted sprinkles or elite misters. It can be anything you wish to die cut. It might even be some fancy materials like thin leathers and bits like that. These dots and this die opens up a whole world of possibilities for you to be creating these dots and layering them over the rest of the collection. But it's not only about the dots that come out of it. What can we do with the bits that are remaining? So a couple of ones here to share with you. This one is taking that large 6mm panel die, cutting it once from blue, once from pink, and then laying it over each other so that the blue diamond shows through in the middle of the pink circle to infill that gap. Then you've got our lovely flowers. We're going to be coming up to these soon. And then you've got our swirl. Now this is our jolly great big swirl. Remember that, jolly great big swirl. When we get to it, you're going to be like, well, how did he get that from that? Just trimming it down, just snipping it about a bit. And just to show you a different look. Then you've got our flowers, and our flowers here you can see they've got that debossed dot on them, which we're going to be talking about in the next dots, or the next dies, sorry. But you don't have to put dots over them if you don't want to. You can leave them plain like I have on this one. So nice, quick, clean, simple card there, created more with the waste elements from these than the main panels. Then we move on to this one. So with this one, what I've done is I've taken again the 6mm panel, I've cut it out, I've then cut it out of the light pink, the light blue and the pebble grey, and then I've taken the dots and I've put them back inside it just to make a clean and simple background for my card. This could have been extended out, we could have made that larger, we could have done a whole background, we could have put a self-adhesive sheet behind it and put smaller dots on there. Gwen did a great demo on Hobby Maker where she put self-adhesive underneath it and then put gemstones glitters through the top of it instead. But to me, this is a really simple, easy effect to do. Now, I don't know, you might be one step ahead of me here, but I was very tempted to write words or letters or numbers within the dots. And you might wish to do that with the smaller one instead of the larger one, because obviously you've got more dots to sort of spell out and join up your words, your numbers, your patterns, but there's a whole host of things we could be doing with that. But you of course also could be weaving through them and doing ribbon effects with them and different bits like that if you would prefer. So this really is a die that, although it's our dot panels and it's all about the dots, them 3mm, 6mm, it's going to open up so many different avenues for you to get creative with. But that's our first one. The recommended retail price for that die is $12.99. If you're having a little look at that, thinking I've fallen in love and I need to get my mitts on that one, that's the price point you should be aiming to pay for it. Then we move on. So we've got these dots, what are we going to be putting them on? Let's start off with our beautiful Snowflake. Now I have a feeling this was a firm favourite of the DT's and Gwen's, and I can see why. It's such a beautiful design. Whether we look at it here, just cut out in white. We'll let the cameras focus. Come on, camera. Catchy, catchy. There we go. So hopefully you can now see all of them debossed dots. If I get it in the right light, we might just see them. White is never easy. I don't know why we do our boards from white. We really should do them from mirror cards so you can see it easier. Maybe when we do some die cut, and we'll show you that there. I can see them clearer on my screen, just around where my fingertip is. But each of these has got these debossed dots running through them. Now to give you a little glimpse, because you might not think, well, there's many on there. I'm not going to need many dots for that. That's how many dots there are. Isn't it cool? So this is using our 3mm and our 6mm, and these ones are cut from silver mirror card. So again, value for money. Now we have got some amazing gems and pearls we're going to be sharing with you shortly if you haven't seen them already. But we don't have an everlasting pile of them. When they're gone, they're gone. So there is a limit to how many of these we're going to be able to bring you. And we need to be thinking forward and making things cost effective for everybody. So having that die and the ability to then go ahead and cut these out of mirror card actually opens up a whole nother cost saving route, as well as that route I mentioned of being able to cut them out of different items, different materials, different colours, different backgrounds we've created. So your die to dot collection Snowflake, recommended retail price $12.99 for that one. And of course taking you off on a bit of a Christmassy theme. But this collection has a whole lot more to it than just Christmas. Moving on next, let's have a little look at these ones. These are our small swirls. Oh, give us a second. I've got a new camera today and I seem to have lost my picture. Let's have a little look. Are we still on there? See if we can get that to zoom. Is it just me, Peter, or is it the same on your screen?
No, mine's blurry.
Is it?
It seems to be zooming in and out, but it's still blurry.
Has it come clear now?
Yes, it's coming clearer.
Good.
Yeah.
So we've got a brand new camera today, which is lovely because we keep trying to invest, we keep trying to improve, we keep trying to make things even better for you as viewers. And this one has a super duper zoom. I know we're getting blurry, but look how close in we can get. And that's really good because it means that we can bring in more details when we need to on the bits you need to see. Our old cameras had a 4x zoom. This one's got 20 times zoom, so we can get right in and show you that details, which is great because again, when we look at the back of the die, we can show you on the back here what level of debossing is going to be achieved just by the dots on the die alone, which is great. But it does mean I've got to get used to playing with it, so do give me a moment while we get used to it. New technology in me never work well. So our small swirls die set, there are 4 dies in here, and these ones really were designed to kind of take you off on all different tangents because we didn't just want a Christmas collection, we didn't just want a birthday collection, we didn't just want a floral collection, we wanted something that was going to fit in for all occasions. Whether you just use one element of these and use them as a little flourish, whether you put them into your flowers and use them as a piece of foliage, whether you use them as a ribbon, whether you use them to replicate like a piece of jewellery or a fine gem, the choice is yours. You could take these off in so many different directions. And hopefully again, you're starting to see as I move this round, just some of them debossed wells, especially on this one here. This one's more focusing on the 6mm dots. That really gives you that placement, so everything's going to be measured out for you to make it really, really easy. Now this is one of the cards I'm hoping that we're going to demo this evening, but it does give you a little glimpse at just one of them kind of flourishy bows added over the corner. We're also going to be looking at our bumpy squares shortly, and this is actually the edge that comes in with our big lattice background. So I'll get to share more inspiration from this die set when we get to demo shortly. The small swirls, which is kind of the wrong name because as you can see, they're actually quite big swirls, but the small swirls recommended retail price is £16.99. To give you a little glimpse at what you're going to be looking at if you're going to track these ones down. Now moving on, we have got, now these are big swirls. These are our large swirls. And when I mean large, these are gigantic. Let's flick that over for you. If I put my hand beside these, you can see that main swirl pretty much the same size as my hand. It is a big die. And this was done intentionally, because do you remember that one I said to you earlier we snipped about on and we cut bits out from? This is the big die I was on about. This here is just one snip, one branch off of this big panel. And that's what I love. If we give you big dies, we can snip them about. If we give you little dies, it's a bit trickier sometimes to join them back together. So why not give you big dies that you can play around with? Again, lots of debossing running through this one. And then we've got kind of, and I know Gwen referred to it as this, kind of our steampunky, cog-esque looking swirl. It absolutely doesn't have to be at all. Add on a few gems running round on those plates and you're going to end up with a completely different, very glitzy effect. But there is a lot you're going to be able to achieve with these once you start playing with them. I think you can see here that if you're going to do home decor, giftware, wedding favours, wedding table centres, scrapbooking, anything that might be slightly on a larger format as well as bringing it into your card making, then this is a die set that's going to come in very handy for those. Now I'm going to share this card with you. Now if you've been watching our social pages today, you will know that we have launched a brand new die of the week. And this week we are having a little look at this beautiful background panel. Now I've purposely brought this die of the week out for you this week because it of course coordinates very nicely with our dots die collection, our dies to dot collection. So this is our die of the week this week. This is our background collection layered heart designed by Sue Wilson. Has 3 dies in here and this one is great because it actually cuts in and then the pieces lift up. Now you're going to have spotted this already. In the middle of each flower, that's not a cut dot, that's an embossed dot. So we're embossing with these, not debossing. But the embossing and the fact it's in the middle of the flower that cuts and lifts up gives you the perfect placement once again to bring in those dots. So in the background of this card, and I'm giving you a proper sneaky because this shouldn't be up being shared until later in the week. So when you see it on our socials later in the week, can you please ooh and ah as if you've never seen it before? But in the background, you can see an enchanted sprinkles background panel. I've die cut from that using our dot die in the 3mm and then I've put the 3mm dots in the middles of the flowers. Then we've got the flowers, which are coming up, again, cut out from that same background sheet. And then we've got our swirls that we're looking at here, with the dots added onto the swirls. So this collection might be a collection that you're looking at and thinking, well, actually, that's going to work really nicely with some of the items I've already got, or we're already planning to purchase, or Jamie hasn't yet bought us in this dies to dot collection, but I can actually take that off and work with it in other ways. And this little dot in the middles of these flowers, colour matching to that background, colour matching to them flowers, to me makes my heart happy, because it all brings in that uniform. I haven't had to jar the eye with a different pearl or a different gem. It's all colour toned and matching the flowers. And where the flowers go off in all different radiants of colour, so do my so do my dots. I want to call them pearls or gems because that's what I'm used to calling them. But so do my dots. Because of my dots, you can see where I've cut them out from the sheet, I've got all them different same shades that was running through that background panel that we created with our enchanted sprinkles. So a great way to use those. And that's my sample to share with you with the large swirls. Now the large swirls recommended retail price, those ones were $22.99. Moving on, we have got our baubles. So this isn't a Christmas collection. It's got a whole host of different ways and means in which you can take it off to. But of course we are in the time of Christmas. We are in the time of Christmas crafting. And I love making 3D baubles. This collection isn't just about that, or this set isn't just about making 3D baubles, but how lovely to have a set that you can make 3D baubles with. Now, if you watched the Hobby Maker show yesterday, you may well have seen Gwen's baubles that she had hanging on display, and they were very, very, very festively impressive. And of course, this die set makes that possible. But it doesn't have to just be about that. You can, of course, bring these into your cards as well. So here's a card I've done. Another one that we might demo tonight, or it might be next week, depending on time. But this one, again, has been decorated full of little crystals. These are our 3mm silver gems that we're going to be looking at shortly. And here I've really built up my little bauble in the middle there to give you some real depth and impressiveness, some real dimension. And you can add in as many or as little as you want to have within that bauble. It doesn't have to be 3D, it could be flat if you're postage conscious. But there are 3 baubles in this set. You've got the kind of cherry blossom-esque looking one. You've got the more sort of large, lacy style bauble. And then at the bottom here, you've got our sort of snowflake bauble. Now, every single one of these has got that debossed detail running throughout it to make sure that you've got that easy placement, whether that is with gems, your die cut dots, or of course your liquid pearls or your glitter glues. So 3 jolly great baubles in that one, and your recommended retail price for this set is $21.99.
Kim asks, just a quick question, not about Debbie.
No.
What size are the dots on the opulent tree? Have you got one of them dies to hand? Do you want me to grab a die?
The opulent tree.
Yeah, last year's Christmas.
I'm going to say 3mm, but I will send you to get
Do you
one.
want me to go?
I'm sure there's
No squeaky door today.
There's no squeaky door. No, we've propped the door open today. We can't pretend we've done anything special. We've just propped it open. My camera's gone blurry again, isn't it? I don't think it likes being left alone. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe when I move things out. I will get used to it, I promise. Okay, so this is our Dies to Dot Flowers collection. Now in this one we have got 5 dies, as you can see, and these go right the way down from dinky dies right the way up to super large flowers. So again, lots of metal in this one for your pennies. And this one's recommended retail price is $14.99. Now I'm going to be honest, my board is not half as impressive as Gwen's. Gwen's board is a woo board. It's a wowie wowie board. But we'll give you a little glimpse at this one just so you can see them cut out, because it is always nice to see them. No offence to my board makers, but Gwen's gone off and gemmed all of hers and they look really impressive, because of course that is what they're designed to do. All your placements are done for you, all of your spacing is done for you. These are truly wowie flowers, but you don't have to decorate them if you don't wish to. You don't have to go full on with them. You can strip them back quite a lot and just stick your pearls in the middle as you normally would, or your gems in the middle, your die cut dots, and just 3D them and form them. Again, you're seeing a snippet of that large swirl being used in the background here, the other part of the one that we shared with you earlier, to give you a glimpse and a way that you could layer those flowers. You know, you look at this with placement, those flowers would look really odd just placed on there if it didn't have that kind of swirl, that foliage element taking that up in the background to give you an idea. and to give you that placement. While we're here, Pete's bought in our Christmas tree die. So let's just have a little look at these for you so you can see what Kim was questioning. I am going to go with they are 3mm. And I'm going to show you, this isn't the ideal way to do this at all. And you're going to think I'm balmy if you didn't already. But if we bring in, there we go. See, look, so this one debossed. You can see how my ideas kind of go around in circles, can't you? Can we see that? So on there, I've added my little 3mm dots onto our debossed details on our die set. So this was our Christmas tree that we bought out last year. So as I say, you really can see how our Creative Expressions collections, how our Jamie Rogers Crafts collections, how all of it comes out of my little head and goes round and round in circles, and we kind of take a thread, an idea, a little glimpse of a product idea, and we take that from let's decorate a tree with diamantes or gems or bits, and we build a whole collection out of it. And that's what I absolutely love being able to do, because it also means if you have got this tree, that's going to work really nicely with the rest of the collection. Maybe you want to put that with the swirls in the background, or you want to match it with some of the baubles, or maybe it's going to be the bumpy squares that we get to in just a moment. Now here is another card to share with you. Again, big swirl in the background, flowers on the top there cut out, all from our enchanted sprinkles. And then once again, I've left the flowers plain. I really like these flowers left without the pearls and the gems. Doesn't mean you have to, you could add more to them. But I love the size and dimension of these and the scales of them. And I think that actually, because they're quite solid petals, they look really lovely cut out of patterned papers, whether that's patterned papers you've stamped, purchased, or created with misters and enchanted sprinkles and bits like that. So there are flowers, recommended retail price $14.99 for the flowers. Just 2 more to go, and then I promise we'll do something much more exciting. Then we have a little look at our bumpy squares. Now this is the largest die set that I believe we've ever bought you actually. I don't think any of our dies get as big as this, do they? I don't know, that's probably wrong actually, because our mats and layers probably are bigger, aren't they? But anyway, big squares. And bumpy squares giving you this beautiful detail running around them. There is a whopping amount in this set. There is 10 dies running through here, all the way from little to large. To give you some size ideas, the largest is 7.9 inches by 7.9 inches, and the smallest is 1.7 by 1.7. And every single one of them, as you can probably see better on this board than any board we've shared with you yet so far this evening, you can see all of them debossed dots ready for you to go ahead and add your details to. These ones are $32.99. Now they are a considerable sort of purchase, or a considered purchase, I fully understand that, but I think once you've got hold of these, you're going to be having a lot of fun with them, because of, again, you're going to be able to bring in all of your pearls, all of your gems, all of those die cut elements to decorate those up. Now, this one's rather yummy. This is our Lattice square. Now this again, big die. Recommended retail price for this one, $27.99, and it comes with 2 dies. We have our outside frame, and then we have our inside lattice. The inside lattice does not have an edge attached to it. That means you could cut it into the front of your card and leave it there. It means that you could nest it in one of our mats and layers squares if you prefer, but of course you can nest it inside the matching die that comes with it, and the matching die that comes with it is going to deboss a dot all the way around it with like a little stitch between it. So it spaces them out, it's not too heavy, but it gives you that beautiful detail again to go in and add in all of your crystals and your gems. Now this is the board to give you an idea. Now of course, because of their 2 separate dies, it means that you can use them together, you can use them independently. Together, we're going to end up with this effect. Independently, this part's going to stay in our card. Again, independently for the second die, it means you've got a solid panel with that beautiful edge running around it. Can I let them into a little secret? Am I allowed to tease things that are months and months and months and months and months away?
I think I know where you're going with this.
Am I allowed to?
Go on then.
That was a bit of tone
happy.
over there. I haven't told
tone.
you yet. I think I'm actually sworn to secrecy. It's Pete's birthday today. And he's been a bit stroppy because it's his birthday. I think he's kind of getting a little bit leery, because it's his birthday and he knows he can get away with it and push them boundaries. So if you pick up some tone coming from the corner, it's birthday tone.
Tone wasn't intended, sorry.
Birthday tone. But it is his birthday, and I've dragged him here all day, and we've been working away in the warehouse, and of course we're here now, and we're going to be here for a little while after this ends. So it's been, although it's lovely to be at work, in birthday standards, it's probably been a bit pants for Pete. So
Did get cake though.
he did get cake. He did get cake. He did only cake off of the food truck that comes round, not big birthday cake. But I have a feeling if you all fill the comments for the birthday wishes, that might turn his frown upside down. And if it doesn't, we'll stick the Debbie McGee mask back on him. We can do that. We've got the power. So okay, so back to this one. Of course, you've seen this one already used on this card here, but let's show you another idea. Now this is, and I haven't told you my sneaky peeky bit, did I? But we'll come back to that. Let's give you another sneaky peeky bit. Again, in advance. Die of the week next week. This is how far we're ahead, but I wanted to share this with you. Die of the week next week is going to be this lovely poinsettia panel. I can't remember the official name, so forgive me, but it's this beautiful stained glass poinsettia panel. And when I created this and I used my flakes for it, I mixed my flakes to make two-tone flakes, and I did that, and I was like, I really need a background that's going to match in with it. And the first thought I had was, let's bring in this lattice square, because it's going to match in perfectly. I could put the same flakes through the background, and then I could gem it in the same way I gemmed the middles to the poinsettias. And I just thought that worked quite nicely for kind of a modern, but yet somehow vintage, which I know really doesn't make much sense, but kind of fun Christmas creation. Now, of course, you might not like the sort of goldy, coppery, pinky sort of effect I created. This could be a whole manner of different colours and mediums being used throughout the layers. But having that ability to match in our gems and our colourways from this layer to this layer, whatever's underneath them, is going to give you that kind of tone-on-tone effect, or that matchy-matchy effect that we all want to kind of create. So a little glimpse there to a card that you shouldn't be seeing until next week, but it's nice to share a little sneaky with you, even if I shouldn't. Another sneaky I'm going to tell you about.
I thought you was going to give away some other sneakiness when you said.
Can we give away a little sneakiness?
Oh, which bit are you giving away?
Can we?
Thank you for all the messages, by the way, guys. Thank you very much.
Are they coming in? That's
they
lovely.
are.
That's very, very nice.
It's very sweet of you. Thank you.
This collection has proved rather popular, hasn't it?
Oh, you are going here, aren't you?
That's all I'm saying, I think.
Are you?
Yeah. Can I say more?
A little bit more.
A little bit more? Maybe there might be another collection in the pipeline. Maybe, before I get told to be shush from the corner. Maybe.
I'm not sure I dare after I was told off.
You weren't told off. You'd never be told off. Maybe some of the elements in this one, I don't know. Let's go out on a limb here. Like the frame, maybe there might be other sizes that could just happen to work with collection 1. So this is a good time to get collection 1, because just maybe if later, much later, not quick, much later down the road, there was another collection and it happened to work with, might be nice to be able to build things together. That's all I'm going to give you. Okay, so that's our lattice square, and that one's recommended retail price is $27.99. And that completes all of our dies to dot. So what do we need? We need dots. So let's bring in some dots to share with you, shall we? So I haven't got these in any particular order because of, let's be honest, they're all too yummy to really mind how we see them. There are brand new dots available through Creative Expressions. These are the Love to Craft collection of dots. These are ridiculously, and it really is ridiculous, these have a recommended retail price of £1 per packet. £1. That is all they should be at your stockists. That's their recommended retail price. Now, just a glimpse into that, what does that mean? This packet, I'm actually going to have to literally zoom out the camera so you can see the whole packet. There is 1,080 gems on there in 3mm in silver. You then have the option to purchase them in gold, again 1,080. You then have the opportunity to purchase them in pearl, giving you 800. And then there is a rainbow, and those ones again have the 1,080 within them. Because we know you're going to want to match up throughout your projects, you've then got 6mm in silver, 6mm in gold, 6mm in pearl, and somewhere in my pile here, 6mm in rainbow, just so everything is coordinating together. We then have for you, well actually just so you know, 504 on the 6mm, 372 on the pearls, and 504 on the 6mm rainbows. And then from there, we've also got 10mm in the ivory and 10mm in the rainbow. 88 on the pearl, 120 in those ones. Then, giving you more options, we have rainbow pearls, 88 in those ones. Again, just £1 a packet recommended retail price. And for the festive loving die dotters, we have got the red and green pearls. And these ones, again, 372 in there. And of course, you've got 50-50 split between red and green. And these are all £1 recommended retail price per packet. So if you're looking at these dies and thinking, they're lovely, but I don't want to spend a fortune on decorating them with gems and dots. A, you've got that die to play with. B, you've got this little wodge of goodies that are going to be very cost effective when it comes to decorating them. And then to top you off for your last new item, just in case you didn't see Gwen's live last week and you didn't see the shows, and this is the first time you've caught me waffling on, let's share with you this little bundle. So these are Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects. Now on the shows, these sold out multiple times. And I mention that because it means, once again, when you see these at a Stockist, or you see them in stock at Hobby Maker, don't dilly-dally. There is not a never-ending supply of these or the gems. When they're gone, they're gone. There isn't a whole host of opportunity with these ones to come in for. These come as a bundle. The recommended retail price for the bundle is £4.99. £4.99 for 8 bottles. That is all you're looking to pay to purchase these. £4.99, 8 bottles. They're acid free, there's 20ml in each bottle, and they are so super easy to use. All you're going to do is take off the lid and give it a little squeeze, and you will start creating perfect little dots. And you can choose what size you want to take that dot to be. The bigger you make them, the longer they're going to take to dry. But if you want to make massive dots in the middles of flowers, you can do. If you want to make little dots like these, you can do. Gwen was doing a great technique the other day where she was taking them and putting them out with a stipple brush and making up like a marble background with them. If you want to spell words with them, if you want to join them up, if you want to make patterns, the choice is completely yours. But how fun are these? This will take me a moment, but you're going to get the idea. How quick and fun are these? Again, it's school holidays. You can see this isn't a tricky craft to be doing. Imagine doing this with the grandchildren. Imagine doing this with the children. Imagine just sitting and doing it on your own, because let's be honest, this is good fun.
I think you're enjoying that a little bit too much.
I am. Shall I stop? Have I got far enough into this? Or just have Jimmy?
Kind of therapeutic watching.
They're really good fun to play with. And again, lots of different ways you can take them and effects you can create with them. Whether you're going to stipple them, whether you're going to apply them with a brayer, whether you're going to sort of do lines with them or dots with them and all different bits. Recommended retail price, once again, just £4.99 for the whole bundle of all 8 of those bottles. Now, before we move on, Peter, do we have any questions?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Kim's asked if it's £10 for Stockist release tomorrow. I think that probably is down to the individual retailer, I presume.
Yes. So there was a bundle on Hobby Maker for the gems where they were £10 for one of each of the 12 designs. Hobby Maker offers are, of course, set by Hobby Maker. They're completely different to what our stockists choose to do. So all I will ever tell you is we give you the list of stockists, and that's a great place to have a little look around and see what offers everybody's running. You know, and sometimes, and this is honestly the truth, sometimes you might find that they're not doing the £10 offer, but it's free P&P. Or it's free P&P over 20 quid and you were going to buy 20 packets of them. You know, so you know this. We're not silly, are we? Shop-wise, support the stores and the stockists and the shows that you wish to support in the way that you wish to support them. But as Pete rightly says, when it comes from this part and we hand the products to the stockists, we can't tell them what to charge you. We tell you on the lives the recommended retail prices, so you've got a guide on where you're going with them. But the stockists, they've got to run their businesses as they want to and bring you the offers and pricing that they need to meet their overheads. So as always, just have a little look around.
I think I misread. Kim's just corrected. It should be 10 o'clock. Is it 10 o'clock?
Oh,
Stockist release.
That's a question I can answer.
There
so
we
yes,
are.
Stockist release is
Sorry,
10 a.m.
Kim.
tomorrow. Honestly, it's his birthday. He thinks he can get away with it. I don't know. What are we going to do with him, eh?
I'm wondering what will come in the post next.
Well, talking of me post,
Oh, yeah.
let's have a little look at this, shall we? So this is the card that Kim sent us. It's so lovely. So Kim sent us this beautiful card using our lovely glitters over the top here. I'm going to go with Gemstones texture paste. Used over the top of one of our stencil vault stencils. I can see the stamp there is from our floral lace collection sentiment stamps. We've got glitter going around the edges there to make our lovely background panel as well. We've got some nice torn vellum. And then in the middle of said card, see what does Kim say to us. She says, "Hi Pete, I found something you could wear for Monday Night Natter." As I said, he needs to wear. "And something to get you some brownie points. Thank you and Jamie for all the fun on the Monday evenings." Isn't that lovely?
It's very sweet.
Very, very, very,
sweet.
very,
Thank
very
you.
lovely. It genuinely did. We got this, so we went and collected some bits, and we got this about 1 in the morning, I think, weren't it?
Silly time, wasn't it?
In the rain.
Yeah.
And we got into the car with just an envelope that was addressed to Pete, and we were driving home, and I started opening the envelope, and Pete was like, "What are you doing opening my envelope? That could be all sorts of things. What are you doing?" And I was like, curiosity's got the better of me. And out comes Debbie McGee's face in the car, in the rain, 1 in the morning, after a very long day. You literally had me and Pete in fits of laughter for the next 10 minutes as we kind of played around with Debbie McGee's face mask. It's very, very funny and very much appreciated. There are times and places where things like that really, really kind of make your day, and that was certainly the right time and the place, so thank you. There was a secondary part to this envelope as well. So let's go over to Hostage Cam and see what Pete's got for us.
And funnily enough, our lovely Alison has just put a message on saying, just asking a question, will you be stocking the Die Essentials magazine number 132, which Alison's obviously on to the fact that you're in that one, aren't you?
We are, yes, we are in it. But no, as a brand, we don't carry the magazines just because we're in them or on them, sadly. I believe I can say that magazine is available at Stockist. Oh, sorry, I'm on you, aren't I? And there we are, just leaving him over there while I waffle about magazines. I'm sorry. He did ask a question though, didn't he? He did ask a question. Magazines, I believe you can get them from selective independents, as in Stockist stores, craft shops, and I believe you can get this edition in supermarkets and I want to say WH Smiths, but I don't think they're called WH Smiths anymore, are they?
Depends if you go to the airport or not. So it'd be TG Jones
TG
or
Jones.
WH Smith.
TG Jones sounds like a jeweller's, doesn't it?
Maybe that's
Do you not think?
the little arm they're going to go into.
Jewellery.
I
Who
think.
knows? Okay, let's come
Anyway.
back to Pete.
Back to Hostage Cam. So, as I'm really, really bad, Alison, at not getting you your special present, Kim's done it for me. So she rather nicely sent a little badge. I don't know if you can see that on there, but it's for Alison. Can we see that?
And it's, yeah, just about, I believe, on your screen, depending on how big your
come
screen is.
closer.
It says Alison the Glue Lady all the way around it, and there is a
It
bottle
does.
of our Jamie Rogers Crafts Dries Clear Glue, front and centre in the middle there for
How
you.
cool is that? So you've got your name badge, Alison. So thank you, Kim. Thanks for getting me out the proverbial. Is that the word?
So we will pop that in the post to you, Alison, courtesy of our dear Kim. Thank you very much, Kim. Honestly, as I say, that really did make our night. The face mask and that little badge and the card, it was all just very, very delightful and certainly come at a time when it really cheered us up, so thank you. Okay, so card we're going to make first of all, we're going to go for that lovely gold number. We're going to bring in all of those pearls and dots. So to create this card, we're going to be using the bumpy squares, the balloons and streamers, the small swirls, and we're going to go for a sentiment that says, "Thank you for being you." We're going to use polar white card, we're going to use our gold mirror card, and we're going to bring in those lovely champagne gold pearls, or gems, sorry, in 3mm and in 6mm. I love embossing a stencil, so let's start with the stencil, shall we? Let's start in that place. So what we're going to do that one is we're going to bring in our base plate, we're going to bring in our stencil, we're going to bring in our piece of card that we're going to aim to emboss, and we're going to place on top of that our rubber mat. And we're going to send this through our machine with our 5mm plate on the top there. If you've not seen this done before, what's going to happen is the rubber mat is going to push down on the card and is going to push it into all of the openings on that stencil. And when it does that, it's going to emboss it for us. Now, you know we've been going on about this for a while now, haven't we? Our stencils are cut from a thicker mylar than 99% of companies use. I believe, as far as I'm aware, we are the first company to cut from a thicker mylar because we could see the opportunities that opened for you. Because if we cut them from a thicker mylar, when we send them through our machines, what that means is we've got more depth to emboss with them. So all of the stencils we currently bring you from Jamie Rogers Crafts and all of the stencils we're going to be bringing you from Creative Expressions brands will all be cut from our thicker mylar. Now this isn't so thick you can't form it, you can't use it, you can't bend it round a vase to stipple paint through it. It just means that it's slightly thicker, so when it comes to embossing or debossing, you've got more depth to play with, more of a recess or an emboss to create. Now of course it also means when we apply our texture paste through them, we're going to get more depth for our stencil from our texture paste as well. So it gives you a win-win situation, whatever it is that you're working with. So let's go on to our card, shall we? We have got our card blank. We're going to bring in our first piece of gold mirror card because we're going to yo-yo back and through whites and golds throughout this project. So we're going to start off with a layer of gold mirror. Now if I was doing this for myself, I would, as the horrible term suggests, I would remove the middle. We class it as gutting the middle, don't we? Which is a horrible term, but it's also a sensible term to refer to the item that we're doing because we're literally taking out that central area. We're then going to bring in our dot dies and we're going to go for that outside border. So this is the one that we want to be playing with, just the edge to go with that lovely lattice. And we're going to cut this out of some white card. So we're going to bring back in our plates. We're going to go for our 3mm plate. We're going to go for our magnetic plate. We're going to bring in the die that we need to cut from and we're going to pop on top of that a piece of card. Now actually I think I'm going to go for some mirror card. Although the one we need is white card, I think you might see the dots deeper or better if we've got the reflection of the mirror card in play as well. So we'll send that one through. Now but obviously we've not put the lattice in the centre, so this one's going to come out as a solid panel, which is exactly what we want it to be. There we go, that one's gone through for us. Now, if you wish to intensify the level of embossing, just like any time we've got a die with etch work on it, if you send it back through with that rubber mat that we use to emboss our stencil on top of it, then that of course is going to push down and make these recesses even more prominent, even more deep. But as you can see, that's the detail we're on about. That beautiful debossed dot running all the way around. And this one has that lovely little stitch line. And that's kind of lovely actually, because it means that there's not just an empty space between those dots, but it also means that you're probably not going to want to put a dot on there because you don't want a sort of too tacky edged border, too many dots, too many effects going on. So it kind of spaces things out. Now on my one, we went for gold dots, but this time so you can see them, let's bring in some of the purple ones. Now Gwen has a great tip with these. When she picks up her dots, she places her finger over the top of them so she can bring them over and place them down with no fear that she's going to ping them off in any directions. Now I never mind too much if I ping any off because let's be honest, I've paid £1 for over 1,000 of them. So if a couple do go float through the air, it's not the end of the world. I am a big believer that it's down to your tweezers and the quality of your tweezers and the style of tweezers you use. And this is not a sales pitch at all, because I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea where these tweezers come from. I've literally had these for about 10 years. I don't know what brand they are. They're not something we have or stock or sell in any format, but they're just really good tweezers. And because they've got little teeth on the insides of them, they tend to pick up and hold on to the gems or the pearls quite easily. I'm not saying they don't ever ping a pearl away or a gem away, but I do find it slightly rare. I also find, and this is a great tip in case you've got similar tweezers, if I find I'm pinging the pearls or the gems away, literally flip them over. And then I find that that stops. And it does seem to depend sometimes on what way round you're holding them. So if you're somebody like me who does every now and again find that they're pinging about a bit, give them a flip round and see if that makes any difference. Might just be psychological, but to me it does seem to make a difference. So as you can see, we would just work all the way around this panel, no faffing required. And this really is the kind of thing you could do sat in front of the TV of an evening, because if you could die cut in the day, choose your colourways that you want to be working with, and then sit there of an evening in front of the telly and do as many dots as you want to do around those edges. So it's easy, it's quick, and as you can see, rather effective. Now, isn't that fun? Now you might choose to snip that off on a guillotine and have that as just a border piece. You might not wish to use the whole panel. You might wish to do some foldings with this, or trimming down, or cut something else into the middle there, or use that as your embossing before you've added your gems or your pearls or your dots on. There's a whole host of options, but it's a very fun and creative, mindful technique that you can be doing. Now here's one I've already done. Oh, I've got a gem that's gone missing, so let me just find one little gold gem. If you do find that you knock your gems off, now obviously mine have been in and out of carry cases for the last few days. There's where it's gone to the back. So I have had mine sort of knocked about a little bit. But if you're worried, then a little bit of glue down first before you put them down is always a good idea. Even though they're self-adhesive gems, nothing beats a good old level of glue underneath them, because it's just going to keep them more in place and more secure. So don't be afraid to add a dot before you place down your gem or your pearl if you feel that you're going to be doing something that you want to last for a lot of years, maybe home decor, maybe a scrapbook page. It doesn't hurt to bring in that extra level of protection. Then we're going to keep building up. So we've gone for a gold centre. We're now going to bring in that lovely embossed panel, and we're going to place that down into the middle of there. Now when I was making this card, I fell in love with this kind of border. It reminded me of the lights around a mirror that you imagine to see in like a dressing room, a green room, something along them lines. And it really did give me that blingy effect I wanted. And I thought, well, where am I going to build up with this one? What am I going to add next? And I decided I'd bring in the bumpy squares. And I started off with one layer, and I was like, well, that looks lovely, but that leaves me quite a lot of room in the middle there. What am I going to do? I thought, well, rather loving this gold and rather loving these accents, let's bring in another one. So I did exactly the same again and built that one up. I thought, well, that looks good. Really like that. Where can we go next? And I thought, there's still quite a bit of room in the middle there. Don't want quite as much room as that. Let's bring in another one. So 3 layers, 3 built up, all foam padded with 1mm foam tape layers, all gemmed around the edges. And again, because we're paying, I don't even know mathematically what that's going to be. Pete might help me out here. What is that going to be? 10 a penny? If they're 1,080 for a pound, if it was 100 for a pound, we'd be paying a penny a gem. So if it was 1,000, surely that's got to be a 10 per penny. Forget the 80p, 10 per penny. That's a bit bonkers, isn't it? So if I do 3 layers of them, doesn't really matter, does it? Not going to cost me the world. So a bit of glue out onto a blending mat. And we're just going to pick that up again with our blending tool, and we're going to pat the glue over the back of our sentiment. So the sentiment I've already gone ahead and cut out of gold mirror, just so it colour matches with the rest of the panels we're building up on. And then we're going to bring this in, and we're going to check that we've got our card opening the right way. And we're going to place that in the bottom half of our squares, so not too low. Around there-ish maybe. We give that a little squidge, make sure that that's in place. And then we're going to finish this one off. So to finish this card off, we're going to bring in one of these beautiful bow elements. It's kind of ribbon effect with all of these areas on here for our debossing. You can see it better there than you could on the boards, can't you? With that beautiful debossing effect on there. And I've already gone ahead and I've brought in one of my 6mm gems, and I've used all of my 3mm gems on this one to go around and decorate it. Now I'm just going to add some foam tape to the reverse of this so that we've got a nice little square on the back there. And then I can bring this in and I can place this in the top part of our card, and we're going to go to the sort of sparkly gemmy bits going up in the air above it. And we're going to place that down, and we're just going to give it a bit of a shape. Nothing too complicated, just a bit of a shape, bit of a formation. That's not too bad, is it? That's a lovely card. And very simple to do, very easy to do. So I'm going to be honest with you, because I always think honesty is the best policy. At this stage, I should say to you, to win this card, you're going to answer a question. Do you think I've remembered to write down tonight's question? Because I haven't. There is no question on my card. Now, Peter, can we come up with a question on the spot here? Shall we ask you what your favourite die is from tonight's release? That's probably the best one, isn't it? So what's your favourite die from tonight's release? Now, I'm going to give you an out here, if you want. Pete will accept all of them. So if you just want to enter to win, to save you having to give too much thought to your answer, you can just say, I want them all, or I need them all, or they're all lovely, anything like that, and Pete will enter you in. But if you can remember the individual names that we run through, then of course you can tell us which ones that is. So you've got your dotty die, and we'll make this easy. Dotty die, snowflake die, little swirls, big swirls, baubles, flowers, bumpy squares, and lattice. You just can't get the staff nowadays, can you? I even have little boxes on here to fill things in. Do you think I've remembered to put the box of the question? It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible. So, let us know in the comments, and Pete will pick one winner at the end of tonight's live to receive that card, and any others that we make, of course. If you are catching up with this after the event, then of course this competition is just open during the live. If you don't know when our lives are, this one takes place every Monday evening at 7 p.m. in its new home on the Creative Expressions Facebook page. We also are back on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. with the lovely and super talented Gwen Fletcher, and you can join in with her competitions then as well. We are looking at broadcasting live on YouTube in the coming weeks, but we've just got to catch up a little bit before we add on another fun facet to our systems. As you can see, new cameras this week, we're upgrading, we're trying to catch up, we're trying to get there. There's so much going on behind the scenes, and I really do mean so much, it's ridiculous, and we are just trying to catch up with everything and bring you the best in what we can with everything we're doing. But there's lots of things coming. Okay, let's not tease you, because I'll get yelled at from Birthday Boy, so I won't tease you. I'll delve into a draw and I'll see what kit we can do next.
Trish asked a couple of questions actually. So one from Trish. So whenever she cuts anything out of mirror card, she always picks up the nicks and scratches in the cutting plates. If there's any tips as how to stop this. Could you put a sheet of copy of paper down on top of the card maybe, or something like that? Would that protect it a little? Or
you could, Peter. Crafty Peter. Crafty Peter in the corner.
I've been thinking of my answer really.
Peter's crafty corner. We could do this. Yes, I would go with that. Actually, I think Pete's very much onto something there. Maybe a piece of copy of paper. Maybe if that isn't quite thick enough and you're still seeing any marks, then maybe a piece of card instead. It might mean that you need to take something out of your stack so you're not jamming or reversing. So you might, like with our machine that we use a Kit and Caboodle Pro Cut. You might say, well, actually, I'm going to substitute the magnetic shim so that I can build up with a couple of sheets of card instead and protect that mirror card. I'm sure you know this, but just in case, anytime we're using a machine, usually there are two rollers, and it's about making sure that whatever's going through the middle of it is going to create enough pressure between them rollers to make sure that we're pushing down on that die, that embossing folder, that stencil, that rubber mat, whatever it is we're doing, to make sure that that element does that job. So if we take out a magnetic shim, we're going to need to replace that with something that's going to give us that same height to make sure them rollers are going to do the same job that we're requesting of them to do with whatever product we're putting through the middle there. So you could certainly pad around your cutting plate. So like if it's like mine, I've got endless cuts on mine, as you can see, that we don't get any of that texture on it. We're going to cut mirror card on the next one, and we'll see if we see any mirror card marks on it, because if I'm going to be honest, it's not something I ever really give much thought to or look at too much. So we'll see how they look and see how they cut, and see if we can kind of look at that and see what we're doing. So for the next card we are going to be creating, let's give you a little flash of what we're going to be using. We are going to be using our Mats and Layers collection scalloped, edged and pierced squares. We're going to be using our plain squares. We're going to be using our scalloped, edged and pierced circles. We're going to use our plain circles. There's quite a lot going on this one, isn't there? We are also going to be using our dies to dot collection Snowflake, and we're going to be bringing in our dot panels. So lots and lots going on top of this card. And it's actually a really simple card that doesn't look overly complicated and makes use of that lovely mirror card. So let's play with a snowflake and see what we can create, shall we? I just had a panic, Pete. I feel you said you had a couple of questions, and I feel I only gave you the chance to only ask one.
That's all right, it's fine.
Did you have another question?
There was another one. A lovely Samantha. Hi, Samantha.
Evening, Samantha.
She tried putting the rubber mat through, but managed to cut into the mat. What did she do wrong, please?
Oh.
I struggled with that one.
I'm going to be honest with you, Samantha. I honestly don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. This actually looks like quite a new mat. Do you want to grab the one from my room? It's over my little army thing with the foam tape on it. I'll see if I can show you an older mat. I've got lots of mats because I have lots of machines. We had somebody come around the other day. We haven't announced them yet. We've got a new DT member coming up shortly. Honestly, there was so much going on while Pete's out of the room. So much going on. It's hard. I don't know what day of the week it is half the time, let alone what's going on. But we had a new DT member come round the other day and come to, oh, it's back, I'll have to be careful.
What is this sneakiness?
Come on, can you not find it? It's on my plate in there. Or if not, look in the middle room and see if you can find the one in the middle room.
Is this a ploy just to get rid of me again?
Maybe. Maybe. See if you can find one. Where was I? New DT member. New DT member popped into the warehouse the other day and went on a tour. And she said to me about halfway through, how many of the Pro Cuts do you own? Every room's got a Pro Cut. And it is kind of a bit like that. We do kind of have them everywhere. They're such good machines that we have to have them. You can't tell me, you're back already and you still haven't found another mat.
How many rubber mats do you own in this gaff?
Well, there is quite a few. I was just saying this. I was saying how a new DT member had said about it. So if you can't find any, don't worry. Don't worry. If you can't find any, don't worry. But yes, Samantha, honestly, you can cut into them and you shouldn't have any problems. What we'll do is we'll use one in this demo so you can see that mine doesn't cut, because that might be a better way to do it. Shall we do it that way? But if it does cut, maybe it's too much pressure again. Only you know what stack you're using and what you're following. Always look at your instruction booklets, because that's going to tell you if you're doing something wrong in that format. And then genuinely, you know, I hands up, I love my Pro Cuts. We've got lots of them. We use them. We do, of course, pop up to highlight and do shows with highlight, but my machines aren't sponsored by them. I don't confess my love for them because of any sponsorship or any kind of deal like that. This is just genuine crafter saying to you, they're a machine I love. So what I would say is, if you do have any problems like this, I'm not an expert with them, I'm just a crafter just like you. So it might be best if you reach out to the company, because nobody knows more than what the company does. So have you found a mat?
Not the mat.
Have you found one?
He has so
Hallelujah.
many mats.
Okay. This might be a good one to show you. Let's have a little look at this one. So this one, if you have a little look here, can you see anything on this one? I don't know. Here. There we go. Hopefully you can see that now. You can see the indentations and the lines where we've used them with dies and they've not pierced through, they've not cut through. This mat's still completely in its entirety how it should be. So as I say, they shouldn't cut. But do reach out to the team at Highlight. Honestly, the team at Highlight are amazing. Even if you Google them and you review them and you sort of look into them, you'll see that they always score really high on their kind of customer service and the way that they work with things and the way that they help out. So yeah, do investigate and talk to them if you need some help. Now, I don't dare send Pete out of the room again, but I can see I forgot to bring in me scallop and nesting dies. But Birthday Boy has been sent out already a couple of times in search of mats. So I'll show you on here instead. With our Mats and Layers collection, if you've not seen them before, our pierced or stitched lines, depending on the set you're purchasing, is separate to the actual outside die. So with these ones, we've got scallop dies, and then on the inside of them, we've got pierced dies, and they're separate, so you can use them and you can mix and match throughout. By that I mean you could take the pierced lines and you can put them into the plain squares, you could put them into the fluted squares, you could put them into the decal squares. You can literally mix and match across the series. There are 5 different edges in each of our releases through our Mats and Layers collections of squares, circles, octagons. Try not to tell you any that I'm not allowed to. Ovals. There's more coming in that collection, but I can't tell you any more because I'm getting the eyes from Birthday Boy. But it all interchanges, it all mixes. What I've done is I've used the pierced ones here that come with the scallop, and I've used them together just as you would expect them to, and we're going to use that for our first layer. But of course it does mean that we could have used them with the plain ones or the fluted or the other edges if you prefer. So we're going to place that down on our card. We're then going to go for a piece of silver mirror card cut from the plain squares this time, and this is the joy of having them all coordinate and all match up and all build up, because that can now fit on inside that stitch line or pierce line. We're then going to bring in another one using the scallop and the pierce, and we're going to place that on the top. And then this is what I absolutely adore about bringing you all of these different finishes in all of the different shapes, is we can now go on to the circles. So we're going to do exactly the same with the circles. We're going to bring in with our 1mm foam tape. We've now got pierced and scalloped circles, which are going to go onto the top. Then we're going to go to our plain circles. I'm going to take this one and we're going to place that on the top here. And then we're going to go to our white one again with our scalloped and our pierced, and we're going to place that on the top. Now I don't know about you, but I can see we're already en route to a very lovely card that could now be done in any colourway, in any finish, in any style. And with this new collection, we could bring in a snowflake, or we could bring in a flower, or we could bring in one of them twiddly bits and make that be the focus with a sentiment. You know, all of these different elements throughout this whole collection could be being brought in and placed on that card blank with that setup, and it's going to work because we've made the foundations for it, haven't we? We could bring in that whole swirl and then flowers and put them around there. And then all of these layers could be out of the same colours and it would just work for us. We've done the hard work just by matting and layering in those different shapes and finishes. And if you think, well, actually, I don't want a circle in the middle of it, try putting the octagon in the middle of it. Or try doing an octagon layer and then putting a circle on top of it. That goes back to our triple layer look that we did a lot of earlier in the year that looked really lovely. So, snowflake. We need a snowflake for the middle of this one, but I've promised Samantha we're going to cut a die and then emboss it. So let's do that with this snowflake so you can see that that mat should, by theory, as usual, stay happy and in place. So let's bring in our snowflake die and place that at the top there. While we're at it, let's bring in this die here. This is going to be our 6mm dots that we're going to be working with. And we are going to use a piece of silver mirror card for this. And I'm going to actually, because I don't want it to move, we're going to tape down that die because we want to emboss it. And sometimes mirror card can lift out from in the die. So if I can see where I've hid it, I only had it, oh here it is, it's a little holder. Let's tape this down so that, oh, come off. There we go. I'm going to tape that down just so it doesn't move, hopefully. I don't know, actually that's a really silly idea. That ain't going to make it not move, is it? What an honour. We're taping the wrong bit to the wrong bit. We don't want to do that, do we? Honestly. Let's hold that there. We'll tape it into the die if we need to in a minute. That would make more sense. It's got to that stage, Peter. Falling apart. Honestly.
Poor thing. Alison's asked if I'm being taken out for dinner.
Are you being taken out for dinner?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
oh Alison, you've given him the tone again. He's got the face.
I'm not sure how to take that. And Mandy asked if there's any news on the factory shop.
Oh, Mandy, I can't tell you anything. That's mean, Peter.
It is mean.
That is mean. That diet.
Watch this space is all we need to say on that one.
Oh no, it has cut. I'm just being scared. It didn't look like it cut, did it? I can't tell you anything about the factory shop. That's really, really annoying because I'd like to tell you everything. You know me. but I can't tell you anything. Oh yeah, as Pete says, that's all I'm going to say. Watch this space for news, and I'm going to say in the coming weeks because of, yeah, all will come clear later. That's all I can say. I'm really leaving you hanging here, aren't I?
You are.
I hate it when I have to do this because I would tell you everything. I'm trying to get you to see this so that you can see, and I don't know if I'm going to get you to see
I think it takes a second to focus.
Mirror card on a camera is not a good idea. But when I'm trying to show you that I haven't got any marks, can you see my dots are pretty perfect? And I've got to really cut into matte, so you shouldn't overly struggle. I wonder if your pressure's a bit too high on your machine. So maybe when you cut a mirror card, you might want to take something out there to just take them down just a smidge. But you can see that we've now got millions of perfectly little formed dots. And if you want to emboss these with that little ridge in the middle, then of course you can do that as well. You can send your matte through with them too. But as some of mine have come out, we're going to go with just the Snowflake. And actually that mirror card stayed in that dye beautifully. So we're going to remove our magnetic sheet to do this. We're going to place that down. We're going to place on our rubber mat and we're going to send it through. Now Samantha, if you're still with us and you haven't yet fell asleep, because that took a lot longer for me to get to this stage than I could have probably stayed awake for, did you remember to remove your magnetic shim when you put through your rubber mat? Because I'm wondering if that was a bit too much pressure and that's why your rubber mat potentially cut. Because if you do need to, again, we go back in a big circle to making sure that we don't overload the pressure. See, my mat's fine. You can potentially see the Snowflake on there. You can see that it's obviously cut it, the blade's gone against it, but there's no damage, there's no areas of problem within my mat at all. So I don't know, maybe it isn't, and maybe, you know, again, I can only say, highlight are the experts, and I'm sure they'll guide you further. But with mine, it's not a problem I've come across. The embossed element of this that we've just created, hopefully on the reverse here, you can see all of that debossing now taking part on the back there even more prominently. So maybe if you was going to be filling your dye or your indentations, you're going to be filling those with something like our liquid pearls or something similar along them lines, then actually having a deeper well to infill could be really good for you. Or if you want to use your gems that maybe don't have a self-adhesive to them already and you want to put glue down first and then put the gem into the middle of it, having them deeper areas to work with could be beneficial to make that easier for you. My camera really don't like mirror card, does it? Oh, there we go, we're back, hopefully. Now can you see the depth on that one of that debossing? See if we can zoom in on that. See if you can see it. Can you see those? Oh, look at that. And you could leave that as it is if you wanted to. You really don't have to do anything more with these dyes. If you're looking at them and thinking, well, could we just leave them plain? Then of course you can. They're beautiful as they are. And if you don't want to add more to them, you certainly don't have to, especially with mirror card, because of the light actually kind of bounces off of those deboss areas and it looks really pretty as it is. But if you do want to add more, then let's go on to our cutout, because we've got our cutout here, haven't we? So all we would do now, and you've got a couple of ways you can do this. You can either bring in your glue and you can start placing dots down where you want your pearls to go. You could of course put your glue into an ultrafine bottle if you prefer, but I'm going to use it direct from the big bottle. And we're just going to add down a few pieces and then we would go in with these little pearls. And if you've got one of those pickup tools, the ones with a waxy end to them, then they work brilliantly with mirror card, because of the mirror card just picks up. You can use them with any pieces of card really from my experience, but mirror card especially works nicely with them. But if you don't, then a pair of tweezers, you can come in, pick these up and wander around all of those areas. Just place these down over the areas that they need to be. And you might even choose, like when you do have a 3mm dot, you might actually say, well, do you know what, I don't want to go for a 3mm dot. Like in the middle of this snowflake, we've debossed a 3mm, but actually in the middle there, it's quite nice if you put a 6, because it gives more of a focal point centre to it, which is what I've done on my completed sample. And we're going to do the same with this one. So I'm going to bring that in and place that down. Then in the other areas, you could of course, just because you've started off with mirror card, This doesn't mean you've got to stick to mirror card. You might want to go all out silver. So you might choose to go, well, actually, I'm going to come in with some of those gems because we've got those, and we're going to place those around a few of these areas. So we'll do, oh, where are we? There we are. And then we go on to there, and then onto there. Is that right? I feel like we're somewhere near right there. And then we could come in with this one, with our liquid version of a pearl, and start doing these and building those up. So suddenly you've got 3 different tones of silver, all from this one release, and the ability to cut with a die. Or you might choose to do your die cutting out of different types of mirror card, or mirror card that you've done something to already. Maybe you've put a texture paste over the top of it like you've seen me do before, or maybe you've put some glue down and then placed over the top of that your enchanted sprinkles, things like that. There's no reason why we can't mix and match, but actually decorating this up and playing between the different mediums can give you some really lovely different finishes to them. So with mine, I've just stuck to doing the die cut elements, and we've just used those different die cut pieces, all cut from silver mirror card. But there's no reason why you have to do that. And one of the things I would also say is what's quite nice with this is they're very postage friendly. There's no depth there at all. It's literally 2 pieces of card stuck together. But when you look at the front of it, it looks really dimensional because of that mirror card coming into play. Now I am going to choose to put this on 1mm foam tape. And of course for my card, I'm never really postage conscious. I tend to hand over most of my cards. I don't tend to post them. We're very lucky our family and friends are very close to us. But if you are postage conscious, then of course you might not want to have done all of the layers I've done. But as I'm not postage conscious, we're going to add on a little bit more depth with our snowflake on the top there. And then I would just finish this project off, and I've bought in a sheer ribbon with a lovely Merry Christmas that's printed on it in silver to just finish off down the edges of that one. But it might mean that you want to place some corners on this instead. You might wish to use the Let It Snow sentiment. You might wish to, and this could be really lovely, we could have done that really monochrome, and then we could bring in some wordies. Or maybe we did the navy and the white and the silver, and you're going to colour the wordies with some blending inks so they match in. Because the wordies, if you've not seen these before, these ones were also on the shows yesterday, and of course are another one of our in-stock items. And we've also got on order all of the original wordies too. So there's a few that we haven't currently got here, but they're en route and they'll be back shortly. But wordies, if you've not seen them before, you get 4 sheets per pack, 2 white, 2 black, and then whatever colour the background is, the wording's done in the opposite colour. And these are printed using toner ink so that you can foil them as well if you want to. But they've got a lovely satin finish to the cardstock that is great to ink over as well. So lots of techniques you can do with these, lots of ways you can use them. You can use them as full backgrounds, or you can of course snip into them and take out the elements you would like to. You might even have a die that matches up with them and could be cut out from them. Something like our picket fence panels could be quite nice to cut those out with as well, just to give you a different idea. And those wordies are recommended retail price $2.99 a packet. Just to give you a little glimpse at something else that we've got going on for you. Now I'm very conscious that we have been waffling on for an hour and a half already, and I think we should probably be leaving you in peace. So Peter, if you haven't already, could you please pick a winner for us for this evening? While Pete is scanning for our winner to our question, which if you haven't yet entered, you've probably got a few seconds to do, all you've got to tell us to be in with a chance to win the 2 cards we've made this evening is which is your favourite die from this release. Is it the dotty panels? Is it the snowflake, the small swirls, the large swirls, the lovely Christmas baubles, the flowers, the bumpy squares, or the lattice panel? And of course, you can just say, well, actually, I like all of them. I need all of them. I want all of them. And we know that that is what the majority of you are saying and thinking due to yesterday's huge amount of sellouts on Hobbymaker. We'll recap that again in a moment for you in case you missed it at the beginning of the live, but we know a lot of you have fallen in love with this collection as much as we have. Now, let's set you a mini challenge, shall we? This week, your homework challenge for us. We would love for you to make us a birthday card. So your hashtag is going to be #birthday. You're going to place that on every post that you enter, but it isn't quite that simple. It's not just a birthday card we want to see from you this week. what we would like to see on your birthday card, and this may sound odd, but it's not always a given. We want to see on there some happy birthday wording. We want a sentiment in some format, whether that is a happy birthday stamp that you've stamped a background with, whether that is a die that you've die cut millions of times and made a background with, whether that is something that you've stamped on a ribbon and wrapped around it like that Merry Christmas on the last card, or whether that's a big happy birthday circle die that you're using, or whatever it may be. We need to see the words happy birthday on your project. Now the challenge doesn't end there. The next part of this week's challenge is the colours in which we would like you to create your project. Now this doesn't have to be a huge splash of any of these colours, but we do want to make sure we can see all three of the colours I'm going to mention on your project somewhere. This is a colourway I personally love to work with, so I'm setting you a bit of a challenge in case it's a colourway you've not used, and if you have used it and you love it, then you're going to be right at home with it. But I would like to see pink, grey and white feature on your project. Now that, as I say, genuinely three colours that I love to work throughout. I don't know if we've got any pink, white and grey cards on display actually at the moment. We've got a pink, white and gold, which might give you a little glimpse at what you could be doing, because you could of course replace the gold with a grey, and that would be really lovely. But it is a colourway that I love to work with, and you've probably seen lots of inspiration from that previously. So all you need to do to enter is make your pink, white, grey card with a birthday sentiment on it somewhere. It can be any size you want it to be. It could be any style of birthday card you want it to be. It could be clean and simple. It could be nice and chaotic. It could be for young children. It could be for anyone you want, basically. Any style you want within the birthday sort of footprint, and again any size you want it to be, so you're not limited to what size. And although we say card, this could be a scrapbook page, it can be any kind of project along them lines, but a birthday project with those colours in mind, and of course the wording of happy birthday. You can enter on our group, Creative Expressions Official Group. You're going to pop your posts up as individual posts, and you're going to add on to them that hashtag birthday. You have until 5 PM next Monday, which is Monday the 4th of August, and at which time we will close the competition, we will pick a winner, and we will announce it on next Monday's Monday Night Natter. If you have any questions, do not fear. Everything I've waffled on about will be put up in a post on the group tomorrow afternoon-ish. So keep an eye out for a graphic to go up with everything I've waffled about, explaining everything I've just told you. Now I believe our special guest is making a reappearance. This isn't prompted, so forgive me, but I feel that our dear Debbie is going to be our announcer of our competition winner.
She is.
Just sorry. You don't get this from Tonic, do you? You know, all of these other companies, Carnation, Tonic, Crafter's Companion,
They
all
don't
quite
have
sensible. Debbie. What do we bring you? We bring you Pete in a Debbie McGee mask.
So thank you all for taking part in tonight's competition. Thank you for my birthday comments as well. Alison, 46. Anyway, congratulations this evening goes to Barbara Walton.
Oh.
So thank you for all your comments. Barbara, if you want to... I can't take this much. Debbie, you've got to go.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't know. Maybe put it back on.
So yeah, if you'd like to drop us a message with your address and whether you'd like the card signed or not signed, we'll get them sorted for you, won't we?
Debbie didn't last very long.
Debbie down.
Well, I think Debbie's going to have to make a reappearance throughout the next week. Maybe we could put her on a little like mannequin thing behind you.
What, like a scary sort of...
Why do you keep just putting her on your shoulder?
I don't know. Well, she's kind of sort of behind me then, isn't she? Sort of like...
We might need to put the eyes back in place, because she does look a little bit weird with the hollow eyes. Honestly, I walked in here, found her eyes on my desk. Just the cutouts of her eyes, the bit he'd pushed out on the desk. I was like, where have the eyes come from? So, oh, they're Debbie's. You don't know the half of what goes on around here, and it's probably best you don't, because it's not all sane. Okay, so quick recap then. Our Stockist launch date is tomorrow at 10 AM. The Stockists, you are going to be able to track down that brand new release we've been talking about. They've all got it on order, and they might choose to announce it first thing tomorrow. It might be later on, might be a couple of days. Just keep an eye. I can tell you a little inside info is in the boxes and en route to them if it isn't already there with them. But stockists to keep an eye on are one of our brand new stockists, Hazel Crafts, Dragon's Paper Craft, Craft Mania, The Art of Craft, Affordable Crafting, Craft Bliss, Cheshire Crafts, Into Craft, and Glitter Bits. So lots and lots of stockists all up and down the country. If you'd like to know more about them, pop onto the website, which currently is www.jamierogerscrafts.com, and click Stockist Guide, and it will open up and it will tell you all about them. It also gives you links to all of their Facebook pages as well. So if you're not following all of those stockists, go and click follow, because it'll keep you in the loop of what they're doing regarding creative expressions, Jamie Rogers Crafts, and of course all of the other companies they support on stock too. So it's a great way to keep up to date with what's going on in all of the craft industry. Not of course just us, because it's bigger than us out there. So it was nice for you to see what's going on. Now, one last thing I do want to mention, because we haven't yet brought it up this evening, don't forget, if you haven't got it in your calendars, Craft Bliss have a very, very, very special demo day coming up on Saturday the 23rd of August. Gwen is going to be popping down to Paul for the day, and she will be there from 10 till 4, and she's going to be bringing you inspiration with a couple of our brand new collections that you haven't even seen yet. So 23rd of August is going to be a big day. Now on top of that, Julie and Barry popped up last week, week before. Weeks fly, don't they? They do fly. Very confusing timeline around here at the moment. But they popped up and they gave us a little bit of help and a bit of guidance in making some incredible goodie bags that are going to be available on that day and on that day only. 10 till 4, limited stock goodie bags that have got huge, and I do mean huge, savings. There is also going to be a die, we had a name for this, demo day die? Die of the day? Demo day die? I can't remember. It's got a name. Yeah, we'll tell you closest at the time. There is also a die. Very, very special die. And it's got a very, very huge discount on it. And again, I have a feeling they're going to fly. So even if you can't pop in and stay all day and sort of join in with a cup of tea and sit and watch Gwen for hours, you might just want to pop in and grab the bargains. Genuinely huge bargains. So it's Saturday, 23rd of August at Craft Bliss, that are located in Paul in Dorset. Okay. Last thing to mention, Thursday, 7 p.m, Gwen will be back right here, bringing you more inspiration with a collection that we've been having a little look through this evening. And we all know Gwen is full of hints and tips. Did everyone enjoy last week's little hints and tips section? I don't know about you, but I was blown away with that mottled background with the little liquid pearls. And everybody I've spoke to has said to me, that's how I tie a bow. Now I know how to tie a bow. I can make bows. So if you haven't seen that, you can catch up on that on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page as well. But again, do be back here this week, this Thursday, 7 p.m, for a brand new inspiration with Gwen. Thank you all so much for watching. It's truly been a joy to be with you. But before we go, we do need to announce our winner for our cards. No, you've done that, haven't you? I'm losing the plot now. We can say goodnight, can't we?
We can indeed.
Okay, let's go before I completely lose the plot. Thank you all very much for joining us tonight, and we will see you all again next Monday from us, Thursday for Gwen. Good night from me.
Good night from me. Take care. Bye.